Hey everybody, tonight we are going to do an update on my waterfall tank, although the waterfall is not flowing and I haven't actually done anything to the waterfall itself, so there's no need to discuss that tonight. But I was looking in there today and I realized that since the waterfall itself is shut down, I'd kind of neglected this tank altogether and it was time to do a water change. So I got in there and did a pretty big water change. I vacked a lot of mulm out. If you can see all that gravel that's exposed in the back now, that was just about an inch deep in mulm. So we removed all that. I did test the nitrate before and not really after, and I'll explain that in a moment. I did get some test strips, some Tetra test strips, some easy strips, and I've been doing some comparisons between them and the API test kit, and we're going to be doing some video on that very soon. In fact, I already shot a preliminary video yesterday, and I've decided I'm not going to post it here on my public part of my YouTube channel. I am going to post it on my members area, but it's almost like an outtake video. I kind of shot it while I was going along. I was sort of looking at these new test strips as I was using them, and it was kind of a mishmash video. I want to wait till I've got my thoughts a little more collected, a little more experience with them, and we will be shooting a video talking about the difference between the Tetra Easy Strips versus the API test, the liquid test that we all are familiar with, or most of us, I should say, are at least familiar with. Anyway, check out the members area if you're interested in that video. I got some other stuff. First look at my woodwork is over there. And who knows what else is going to end up over there eventually. But tonight we are just going to talk about this tank. And when I got in there and I did the nitrate test, the before test actually came out at, I'm going to say 10 parts per million, maybe, something like that. It was yellowy orange. And that was the before test. And I never bothered to do an after test because when I tested my tap water, it came out to be pretty much identical to what was in the tank. Now, that's why I tested the tap water. I know that I do have some nitrate in my tap water. It's a low enough level that I don't worry too much about it. And the tank water looked suspiciously like my tap water. And so I wound up testing. And as I said, the before test came out the same as my tap water, so I know the after test is going to be the same as my tap water. So there was no point in doing an after test. My tap water more or less proved what I thought already, that the nitrate was going to be around 10 or 15 parts per million in this tank. So it's still well under control as far as, being clean and healthy and all that. It's just not really a waterfall anymore. I don't even have the upper part of it lighted anymore. It's just all sitting there looking gross. So as far as the tank goes, everything is going fine. The only thing I really want to do is get in there and give it a haircut. This Java Windelov that we've got going on here is just getting out of control. It's a huge mass. I need to get in there and reduce it. I just know that every time I do, it always affects the tank, and then I'll have weird algal growth, or I'll have diatom algae breakout or something. Just something always happens whenever you get in there and you do huge removals of plants and stuff. You always wind up shifting the water chemistry around, and you just wind up having changes happen. So I'm not looking forward to doing that, but I mean, you can see how much of the tank, it's going way towards the back of the tank, and that's a 40 breeder, so that's pretty good depth going back there. So I really need to get in there and get that Java Windelov out of there. On the positive side, anybody that's interested in any Java Windelov, I will have plenty available for sale in the very near future. I do have some available now, but if you want a lot of Java Windelov, hit me up, let me know, and put your name on the list, because I will have a big mass of that here really soon. Otherwise, not really a lot to talk about, since we are down to this one filter being the sole source of circulation in this tank now. I did rotate my water deflector a long time ago. My regular viewers might remember this, to stop all of the water from flowing across the surface, which was pushing all my plants up against this end. I basically ran a screw into the front of the filter with just a little piece of plastic through it, and then that allows me to, it just sort of diverts the water downward into the tank, and that gives me a nice calm, still surface. You can see how that duckweed's just floating on the surface right in front of that filter like that. But when I turn it sideways like this, that still diverts some of it downward into the bottom of the tank and circulates the water around, but it also gives me that nice surface flow, and I get a lot more movement around the surface, which is also good for gas exchange and that sort of thing. It's not exactly surface agitation, but it is movement across the surface, and in a way you can almost count that as surface agitation, the way it's creating the little ripples and bubbles and whatnot. So there you go. So again, the only thing that I'm really concerned about at this point is that plant right there is my water lily that I put in here. And even with this outdoor floodlight pointing straight down, pretty much right over that lily, it's not really doing much of anything. It really needs to be out in a pond somewhere where it just gets full sun all day. I just don't think this is enough light on it for it to really do anything. So I don't know, we'll see. I paid $8 for it or whatever at the Lowe's, so if we get a little bit of growth for the summer and it peters out, it'll have been an interesting experiment at least, and we'll, you know, we can say we tried. Now, it did have one little pad that was making its way up to the surface. I don't know whatever happened to it, but I'm looking at it now, and there's definitely some new growth on it. So doing the water change today, getting the tannins out of the water, that's going to let a lot more light in, and then opening that up to, I did that deliberately for that plant. I wanted to push all this stuff out of the way because I really need to get in here and give this plant tank a haircut. Again, this Ludwigia, you can see I'm starting to get side shoots growing off of this, so this could really go, I could get in there and cut some of this stuff out. I mean, all of this is, that's all part of that same Ludwigia. I mean, I could really get in there and cut a lot of that out. That actually is not even attached to anything, so there you go. We've already removed some of it. So I've also got some Ludwigia available for sale if anybody is interested. This is the red stuff, or it turns reddish. So we'll go ahead and get that thrown into one of my grow out buckets, or I'll just leave it in there for now for the time being as I throw it right back on top of the plant that I'm just telling everybody I'm trying to get some light down to. So there you go, everybody. There's an update on my waterfall tank. Again, don't forget to subscribe. We will be talking more about those nitrate tests and comparing the test strips to the test. Ooh, it looks like I opened up a big dam full of, this is where it came from back here. There's a bunch of duckweed. Look at it all. I got in there and got a lot of it out when I did the water change, but I clearly missed a lot of it too, so I'll have to get in there and try to get some more of that duckweed out. Anyway, make sure you're subscribed. You won't miss any of that stuff I talked about coming up. That'll be some interesting stuff. If you're up for it, join up. I got memberships available now. You'll get some good stuff over there, some behind the scenes video as we discussed, that sort of thing. It always helps support me. I do appreciate that. Remember, all these tests and test strips and bottles and vials and stuff I buy do cost me money. So, you know, if you appreciate this kind of stuff, helping me out, we got that applause button now, or whatever they're calling it, super thanks or whatever. If you want to send me some super thanks, that's a way to help support me too, and some other good stuff going on. So again, check out all that stuff. Make sure you're subscribed. Check out my other channel, yada yada. You hear all this stuff at the end of every YouTube video. So thanks for watching. Make sure you're subscribed, and I will see you real soon on the next one.